let's look at a couple of other things, and then I'm going to take anything else you got outside of this. Okay, so this is really the value of relationships. And what partnerships can home inspectors form with their preferred vendors to offer trustworthy, affordable solutions to home sellers for issues found during the inspections? Okay, so really, remember how we've talked about our partner vendors and what an opportunity we have here. So one of the things that was a big problem when we did pre-listing inspections, and we did tons of them, is who's going to make these repairs? Okay, and one of the things is we said that we want you to get trusted people to do the repairs that will stand behind it. So you get a bill for where they repaired it. They said what they repaired. Boom, they stand behind their work. Okay. So if we have and everybody's state laws are different, so I get that. But in most states, you can still do this. Okay. So they're not paying you for the referral. So let's just get that out. They're not paying you anything for this. But you have these partner vendors and you're helping each other get more leads or your preferred vendors, then I think that's one of the selling points that you have. Hey, we have a list of preferred vendors that we give out to all of our clients, not just on pre-listing inspections, but these people can help you make these repairs. Now, you can get a quote from them if you want and get other quotes as well. Okay, how does that make your partner vendors feel? Does it help you sell your program?
It gives more value to them to want to be a part of your network.
That's right. That's right. So, and it really helps you too, doesn't it? Because now what do you bring? A list of partner vendors
Yeah.
to your inspection. So is that a USP for you?
I think so for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? When I say USP, unique selling point, nobody else that's quoting on this pre-listing or trying to get it has a network of preferred vendors. Okay. We bring that.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that's a tremendous opportunity because, one of the things, and let's just say this, in this market, when Beth and I moved here to the Villages area, we didn't know anyone. Okay, and so we were constantly trying to find people that we know, like, and trust, and we found some that we didn't know, like, and trust, and we won't use them again. But if Brandon or John or any of you guys on this call tonight or gals had a list and you were confident in them, I would at least talk to them.
Mhm.
Okay, where now I'm not having and this is a Southern term, take a pig and a poke, y'all. If you don't know what that means, that just means around an old brown bag, pull out whoever's in there and just hope for the best. That ain't working out. That hadn't worked out here. So I think that's a tremendous USP, both for you and for your partner vendor.
Yeah.
Okay, so could you work those partner vendors in for some case studies? Hey, we got a referral from Brandon the other day on a homeowner. The homeowner had this problem, and here was the issue. We fixed it, and everybody was happy. And the homeowner comes on and says something really nice. I mean, I can see a lot of ways we can bring more value to our pre-listing inspection process than we are today. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're a little bit over time, and I want to get this one last thing. I know Brandon's got a coaching job. He does a little coaching for his little league team. Okay. What techniques can home inspectors do to follow up with past clients for referrals? How many of you who are doing pre-listing inspections are getting reviews on 100% of them?
Oh gosh, no. Reviews?
Mm-hmm.
For every 5 inspections, I probably do 2 or 3 reviews.
Okay, so think about this. We're really only talking pre-listing inspections for this call. So if you're doing a pre-listing inspection and you're somebody's advocate and they help you get their home prepared to sell quicker with less hassle for more money, would you set the expectation up at the top? If I help you do that, you're going to give me a nice review so I can continue to serve others just like you in the community? And I'd have 100%. Okay. So get 100%. There's no reason why. These aren't an adversarial relationship. Oh, if you'd have told me this, that doorknob was loose, I would have paid him $20 less or not bought the home because the doorknob was loose. Really? Okay, fine. I get that. So when you're doing standard home inspections, the rate of reviews that you get is going to be lower. I get it. I mean, baby boomers were reluctant to write anything. I mean, I have made myself as a baby boomer write reviews for companies that I've really valued their service because, or their product, because I know we're so hard to get reviews from baby boomers. Okay, so I do it intentionally. But when I didn't do it intentionally, I just didn't do it. That's nice. I'll give you a review. And then I never did it. But why, what's the impediment from getting 100% reviews from this group? I'll tell you what it is, probably not asking or not following up.
Yeah.
Okay, but these people love you. Okay, that you're there to help them. I mean, I hope to goodness you coach them. I coached them. I said, here's what we're going to do today. My job is to find things a buyer's home inspector is going to find. And you know what? I'm going to share with you the things I think that we should fix. And then I'm going to talk to you about the other things. And if these things you don't want to fix, I'm going to talk to you about how we can deal with that too. Because you know what? I know this for a fact. When buyers come in and find things wrong with the home based on their buyer's home inspector, guess what happens? They want those things fixed and they want to renegotiate the price lower of the home. So let me help you avoid that. So when I do these things, man, they love Old Ken. They can't wait to give me a review. So start coaching if you're not. Okay, tell them what you're going to do, how you're going to help them, make them your biggest advocate in the world. They'll give you reviews and they'll let you do case studies on their property. Because Giselle told us earlier that 2 of them she was familiar with sold for more money. What a hell of a case study. Okay.
One sold for $50,000 more than asking price.
Now that is a case study.
Yeah.
Okay. As a case study. Okay. That is, what else do you need to say? Sold it for more than 50G. And you know what? The only other thing you say, and they didn't bring their home inspector with them. Woohoo! Man, you cornered the market right there. One other thing I want to ask you about this. And this is an opportunity to sell more services. How many of you today bundle other services with your pre-listing inspections or offer services in addition to your pre-listing inspections? How about if they live in a
Sewer
radon
scopes,
zone? How about if they live in a
radon
radon zone?
sewers.
Yeah.
Mhm,
How about if they have a pool and spa? Okay.
that too. Yeah.
Okay.
That is a one that probably is worth discussing. I do have to jump off, but I'll watch if you guys discuss it a little bit more because we do have a challenge. You know, it's hard enough to get them to buy a pre-listing inspection, then try to upsell them on that. You know, obviously we don't upsell, we downsell, but you know, help because some of them will think, well, I'm already doing the home inspection as a seller. Maybe not doing a radon or a sewer scope. They'll typically skip that. So
So my thing is this, I'm a math person and I just say, okay, let's do the math. You know, the home is worth X. You're trying to sell it for X. Okay, if you can sell it for X or the listing price or higher, that's a good thing. But what if somebody comes in, they bring their buyer's agent with them and they do a radon test? Now you got a mitigation issue to deal with if it's elevated. And how about a sewer scope? Why wouldn't we just bundle all of those things in where we know we have those problems and say, hey, you know what happens is we can lower the price if you're not interested in those. But here's the problem with that. Because nobody likes to be upsold. Nobody minds being downsold, but they don't want to be upsold. But bundling, I'm telling you, is an opportunity to sell more services because your standard we're going to go in, but if you know and you wouldn't offer those things. For instance, if you saw what appeared to be mold, okay, so then does it make sense to offer a mold test? Said, you know, when we came out and did this, you know, we had no idea that, you know, this might have mold, but you know, now it does. And you know, somebody's going to see this and we got to figure out what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, now we can offer some reduced prices for ancillary services to make them feel better. Normally we charge X, but you know, today we're going to charge this because we're already doing this, you know, full service inspection for you.
Mhm.
I think it's a tremendous opportunity for us to do other things. Oh, we didn't realize you had a swimming pool. When was the last time you had that done? Or if your home was built before the days when asbestos was there, you know, have we done any environmental testing? So I think you should think about it. Bundling. Your competitors are just going to go in there and do a home inspection and a traditional home inspection. They're not going to coach. They're not going to do the things we talked about, and it'll be harder for them to get it. But then somebody else drags their buyer's agent in, and guess what happens? That's it. Beth and I've sold through Flat Fee Realty our homes twice. We got appraisals, we got our own home inspections, and get pre-listing inspections. And guess what happens? Nobody drug their home inspector in there. They didn't. We just bought the maximum package the home inspector had. They were trustworthy. Their report was excellent. We furnished it right there on the internet and for everybody to see and have, and nobody drugged their home inspector in there. So, and the home sold for a lot more than we were asking. So, so that's a good thing. Okay. How about other things now? Anything you want to get into? I just want you to start thinking about all the possibilities that we have here. I mean, yeah, we know the pre-listing inspection program from the old days. How can we dress that sucker up to make it more valuable, more profitable to us, and more attractive to the people who are helping us with it?
You know,
That's where I want you to go.
Ken, I think, and I don't. This is not an easy thing, but I think that some review of legislative issues might help push pre-listing inspections in the future. What I mean is to eliminate the complete lack of liability on the behalf of the seller. If the seller had a little bit more exposure when they sell three, four, five, six, $700,000 product to someone, it should not be just as is. There should be some level, maybe even if it's governing escrows or saying, you know, we put money away because if something shows up that we feel that you should have known about, we have some recourse. That would change pre-listing inspections overnight. But that's a political issue. That's big.
It is, you know, that it's like herding cats. It's
Yes.
those characters. But I think what happens is every opportunity you have to get on a podcast or every opportunity you have to get on any type of media program, whether it's local media or whatever, you can even pitch them on the story, the value of pre-listing inspections. I see those kinds of articles around the internet. Okay, so I think that we're going to have to do a lot of marketing education to let home sellers understand what's in it for them. What's in it for them, we're going to tell them directly. What's in it for them by using this program. See, I personally am a professional marketer. Okay, so I couldn't wait to throw the yoke of the real estate agent off of our necks. Okay, because now I'm going to tell my own story the way it should be told and not through the lens of some real estate agent. Okay, you don't need a radon test. No, you don't need a mold test. You don't need that. They're just trying to sell you something. You don't need that. Well, how come, Mr. Buyer, how come you didn't get that? Well, my agent told me I didn't need it. Oh, really? Okay. Well, you know what? So I had an example. I'll give you an example. I always tell this story. I know I went into a home one day and I said, I noticed that you didn't decide to get a radon test. And I said, you know, 1/3 of the homes in this particular community have been tested, have elevated radon levels. And I said, tell me what you know about radon. And I never asked them, do you know anything? I said, tell me what you know about radon. And they'll say, well, I don't really know much. And I said, well, how come you opted not to get a test? And they said, well, my agent told me I didn't need it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I never go any further, except I'm going to talk to their agent, of course. But then I go along for a minute and I asked the home buyer, I said, I'd like for you to take 2 minutes, if you will, and just walk this way with me. I know you're doing something else, but when you get a minute, just if you join me right here, I'll show you something. So he comes over there and I said, do you see that right there? And he said, yes. And I said, do you have any idea what it is? And he said, looked at it and he said, not a clue. And I said, it's a radon mitigation system. And he's like, oh. And I said, but you know what happens is your agent told you didn't need to get a radon test, but there's already a radon mitigation system here. And he said, good, now I won't have to put one in. And I said, hold on a second. How do you know it works? So you know what? We got a radon test and we made an educated buyer. And I use that as a case study all the time. When they say, oh, my agent told me I didn't need a radon test. And I said, well, let me tell you a story. And I tell them that story.
I want to add
And
to
we get
that.
it. Huh?
I want to add to that.
Yeah.
I used to tell this story when I would schedule home inspections, and this part of the story was the guy said, "Oh, well, great. There's a radon mitigation system in there. I'm covered, right?" And Ken goes, "Well, how do you know if it works or not without a test?" So the guy decides to go ahead and get a test, and he had elevated levels of radon. They never finished it. What'd they do? A pre-install, and that was it, Ken?
A
So the
pre-install.
radon mitigation system wasn't even functioning.
Yeah. Yeah. So these little anecdotes, these little stories that you can tell that you build up in your tool bag, you should be telling. So I just think there's a lot of opportunities for us to really go with things. So if you can get on anybody's media, their podcasts, newspaper articles, whatever you get, blog posts. Get on there and talk about pre-listing inspections, but you have to go from the angle from what's in it for the buyer. I mean, the home seller, what's in it for the home seller, not for the real estate agent. Forget them. They're going to be gone.
I want to
Okay.
say something again. I'm sorry.
Here we go.
Also make videos, make your own video and just have it explain, like Ken said, educate your buyers or your sellers, educate them all. But you could do a video on the importance of a pre-listing inspection. And like Ken said, do the case study, but you can do your own video. Getting with others works big time. But if you're like, who am I going to get with? I can't get it. Do it yourself. Make your own videos.
Not only would I do it myself, but when I sent direct mail, I'd have that YouTube link right in there where I did it myself, talking to that buyer about why, I mean, that seller about why this is important to them. So every time they got my direct mail, they'd get a link, they'd click on that link and boom, and my link would be say, sell faster with less hassle for more money.com. Okay, now that'll be gone this afternoon. Hopefully one of you smart people will buy it. But the fact of the matter is that's the pitch. Sell your house for more money in less time with less hassle. Boom. I mean, I went to an agent one day, a broker, and I said, I want to ask you about an opportunity to speak with your agents, but I know that home inspectors are crap speakers and generally, and they don't really have a cool message. But I said, what if I could do this? What if I could show your agents a way to sell their listings quicker for more money and with less hassle? Would you be interested in me talking about that? You know what he said? When can you be here? Okay, because the broker realizes the value of it. So if you have brokers that you have any relationship with, for goodness sakes, talk to them about it. Pitch it that way. Don't say it's pre-listing inspections. You're like, no, that's not what it is. Okay. That might be what you call it, but the results, the net benefit to their agents are sell the homes for more money. What's the broker loves that. With less hassle, he loves that. And for less time, he loves that. It improves his cash flow. So the broker wants you to discuss that with the agents. And he's probably talked to them about it till he's blue in the face, and they just aren't listening because they're independent contractors. Okay, they don't have to listen. All right. Anybody else got anything else? I just wanted to see what people are doing. We're putting together all the new marketing materials. I just wanted to run this past you. But I really want you to put your thinking caps on. How can I improve my existing program today? Okay, to take advantage of these things. All right. Anybody going once, going twice? Thanks for being on the call. Appreciate it. Home Inspector Huddle is a free service. Get on there, talk all you want. There's never a charge for it. We like to have questions, interaction on Home Inspector Huddle. It's a new product. We're building it up, and this is a part of it. And it's all no cost to you guys, our friends, the home inspectors. All right.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you guys. Have a good
Have
night.
a great week. Bye
Everybody
now.
stay safe.
Bye now.